This is Ronan, Rocky Mountain Pro Superstar and professional wrestling's only true vampire, and you are listening to RMP Radio, where pro wrestling is elevated.
RMP Radio is back on the air. Hi, I am your host, Mr. Fourth Row, and joining me on this edition, I've got the one, the only, Canary Cornell. How are you doing there, miss?
I am doing very, very well, Mr. Fourth Row. How are you doing today?
I'm hanging in there, getting by with all the fun challenges that the world throws at us day by day.
It's always exciting, right?
Yeah, so true, so true. So,
you never know what you're gonna get.
Sorry, say that again?
You never know what you're going to get.
Oh, yeah. Forrest Gump, like a box of chocolates.
Exactly.
So first question I've got for you, you've kind of recently got back in the wrestling scene from a little bit of time off, well needed time off. How's it feel? At least getting around the gals and the guys there in the locker room.
It's nice to be at training again. It's nice to be around everybody, and it's a lot of new people that I've known from elsewhere, and it's cool to see them thrive and get really, really good. It's been a good area. It's been good vibes lately.
Yeah, so true. You feel like getting back into training? Did you feel like you had any rust?
I have tons of rust. It's kind of sad.
Oh no!
But I mean, that's how we learn and get better, though, right? Like,
right.
Sometimes you have to fall back just to get back to where you were and adjust. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. So,
I'll get back into swing of things. It'll be fine.
Yeah, so true. So one question I've got for you, since you've kind of gotten back, that we can maybe break the fourth wall a little bit, but if people are watching there on the Twitch tapings for Charged and everything else, they sometimes will sneak a peek and see you here and there with your duties there at ringside. So are you kind of maybe also doing a little bit of scouting of the fellow Lockettes there in the division and see who you want to get in the ring with?
Oh, of course. You should always be watching your future opponents. You should always be taking note and learning from them.
Yeah, and you got more than you're even closer than front row in viewing all this.
Yeah, I'm literally right there. They're trusting me with their items on the side of the ring. Like, really? I'm really excited to see Unholy back, though.
Any funny stories going on with that? People are like, where did you put my jacket or my shirt or my whatever?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, I won't name names. I won't. But somebody has a lot of props. And they kept putting each prop on each, all their gimmicks, on a different corner.
Oh.
They had several different things, and I'm trying to run around and not be, noticed, obviously.
Right.
And I just keep tripping on stuff, trying to go grab, all their things. It's please just keep it in one area. Please just hand it to me.
Do you think they were doing that on purpose? Yeah, just kind of jiving you and getting at you?
No, I just think that they are extremely extra. I think that's it.
That they forget they have that much stuff to take care of before the match starts?
Yes, and it amazes me. It's why do you have so much stuff?
Oh, that's funny.
I like simplicity, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's funny. That's great. What's it like in this aspect? You're sitting so close to Titus, which you of course continue to break the fourth wall, that you've got a huge history from. And I know those first few times he kept on kind of mentioning an alternate universe per se, if we could use that cliche with you. How's that feel hearing all that and him getting at you? Do you think he was also trying to crack you up and get you off kilter for your duties there?
Yeah, it's cool though. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what to say when he needs to say it.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
So maybe possibly I can maybe put a bug in your ear along that aspect, because I know he kept on mentioning, where did she go? Where did she go? There's this month called April, and we call it April Fools, and I've always kind of been the big believer that April, if people want to have a little bit of fun, why not do a throwback to maybe a previous character, a persona they played in a ring, or, in particular case too, people had some like old shirt designs, I'm a big merch guy. Well, I am the merch guy, right? Now.
You're the merch guy now, yeah.
Yeah. That they
Thank you for helping, like, that's...
Yeah. It's been a lot of...
big help now, yeah. Like,
it's been fun. It's so
it's good to see you.
Yeah. So, continue on that. I kind of mention to people, hey, why not release your old shirt in the month of April every year and call it an April Fool's Day sale? So to get those fans that haven't gotten your first set of shirts and things like that. So I'm always kind of thinking, and maybe having that credibility in that title now, like you said, maybe that'll give me a little bit of more pull or influence over the guys and the gals when it comes to that.
I mean, it would help. It would definitely help with like those leftover shirts. I know I had a few.
Yeah.
From a long time ago, but yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely.
Hey, yeah, and you know what? You never know. Let me tell the listeners and you a story, which is it's kind of fascinating, because you never know what can happen. But so I was at another promotions show, and Thunder Rosa was there, and I asked her if she had any of her shirts that she was displaying in my size. And she said no, she didn't, but she did have one in another size that she only had one of left over. So you never know. You should always bring all your merch you possibly could have, because you never know if you're going to be able to get rid of it. So that's just kind of my little soapbox type thing. And I'll call out another wrestler that sold a shirt this past Saturday at our tapings as well. He sold one of his old shirts. I was like, dude, why don't you have these out? You should. You never know if you could do something, because somebody is always looking for maybe that old shirt, or it's gonna be that orphan shirt basically that it's an odd size and either too small or too big, but you never know. It's not gonna hurt, but by putting it out.
True. Yeah. I think I would call mine the rabbit hole special.
Yeah.
Because they would be all the Aria t-shirts.
Yeah, well, that's cool. I'll see if we can get the RMP sign guy to make one the rabbit hole special.
Well, I'll even make you like a little rabbit hole. I'll make like a little maybe like a little hat.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be corny, but yeah, it'd be funny though at the same time.
No, I think that would be fun. Hey, that's it's the wacky world of professional wrestling. We're supposed to have fun with it, right?
Exactly. I totally agree with you.
So kind of transitioning from there, so like we do here on RMP Radio, we do get to try to know a little bit more about the person behind the wrestler, what they like to do outside of the wrestling ring. And one thing I know for certain that you do enjoy doing, and I think you've even your profession was once in a while, but you enjoy the art of cooking. How did that start with you?
Um, I've always loved food, like probably an unhealthy amount of loving food. But like ever since like I was little, like my mom would watch Food Network, and I grew up watching like Emeril Lagasse, and you know, I fell in love with Gordon Ramsay and like all these other people. And I remember I can't remember how old I was, probably like 27. I just like was unsupervised at the moment, and I just got a bunch of stuff and tried sticking it in the blender, and I was like, voila, there's my food. It tasted really bad, but I mean, I got better at cooking ever since then. And then kind of also too, like, my mom is a single mom, so like she had to work like 2 jobs at one point, and I was home a lot by myself. So like trying to like pimp out like ramen noodles, like that was kind of like something I got really good at, was making it actually taste like a good meal, you know. But like I've always just kind of been like drawn to cooking and having stuff that tastes good and being proud of like what I'm cooking. And for me, food should always like make a person feel like really good about themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hitting that emotional high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's always been like my goal. Like if I can make you go, and, like that was like a really good meal, like I've done my job. That's always made me really happy. But I feel like I'm a good cook. I've had other people tell me I'm a good cook too.
Dissecting some of that stuff that you've said, what's been the kind of most memorable thing that you can think of like you say, you pimped out some ramen noodles? What's been that?
What's better than that? Like what I've done ramen wise, or like in general, like what best thing I made?
Yeah, well, you said ramen noodles, and in this case, ramen noodles in particular, you said you pimped something out with them. What was the most memorable thing you did with those?
Let's see. That was a lot of like middle school. I think I took like some like leftover taco meat and I threw it into the ramen.
Okay.
And that was like, yeah. And then I had like all these other spices, and I kind of just like added a bunch of stuff into it. But I do believe it was taco meat that I had left over, but I ended up just kind of mixing it with the ramen. And it was like a good fusion of like Asian and Mexican food. So it had all the spices.
Yeah. How did it turn out? How did it taste?
Yeah.
Seems like it should be okay.
From what I remember, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, middle school was like centuries ago to me. So yeah.
Well, if it's been centuries for you, then it's been eons for me. Then I guess.
Yeah, like I've made so much better stuff like since then. So like, yeah.
What is it that you like, that you have your heart or your eye or your taste per se, the pun intended, kind of geared to? Is there just something, a particular type of food or an experience or something with that you'd like to try, you'd like to explore?
I like all different types of food. So like, I'm really big on Asian food, which is like really weird because like nobody I ever go out to eat with likes Asian food. So when I do get the chance to go out and like enjoy it with somebody, like I love to go get like different types of ramen. I remember that I went out with Porter Blake and Trey Island to Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like when devotion like first started. And we drove there, we did the show, and then like we were going to drive back that same night, but we pulled over to this like ramen place. I really wish I could remember the name of it. And we just got our bowls, and it was probably the best like tasting ramen I have ever had in my entire life. Like it was just like so memorable. It was really good. Like I'm getting hungry for that like right now actually.
Yeah. When you say like Asian food, do you like the whole gambit, Asia proper, or do you more have your eye towards the Orient part of Asia?
I think I'm all over, to be quite honest with you.
Okay.
Because like it's like I love sushi, I love like pho, I love ramen, I love like all different types of things. And it's like sometimes I get like myself like confused on what is what, because to me it's all deliciousness.
Right.
as weird as this may sound, there's like one particular animal I won't eat, and that is an octopus.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, like everything's just delicious to me, and like I'm not picky. Like if it's there and it sounds good to me, I'm going to eat it.
Yeah, that's
I'll
awesome.
enjoy it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was just a little curious because when I said Asia proper, I was thinking like, India and those kind of places, because that it technically is Asian, so.
Okay, well, I like Indian food. However, Indian food has a lot of cinnamon in it, so I can't really eat it.
That can be tough.
Yeah, and that's my one thing I'm allergic to is cinnamon. So like,
is it?
when I get something that doesn't have it, I get to enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, and cinnamon, is, if I'm not mistaken, cinnamon is one of those spices that kind of can sometimes in certain things just really accelerate the taste or the sensation of things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is true.
yeah, because I remember.
Like here's the thing, like oh, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
but, like,
go ahead.
Like with pho, I can like with pho, I can definitely tell like who used cinnamon in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I instantly have to stop eating it if it has it in it.
Right.
But yeah, it's in a lot of things, actually.
Yeah, I was just what kind of brought that thought process to my mind was that I know Mario's gonna probably kill me, but I still am a soda drinker. But Pepsi had cinnamon Pepsi not too long ago, and boy, is that cinnamon Pepsi kind of really it bites. It really takes you when you get those sips in it. It even more than Pepsi normally does. So that's what I was just kind of thinking and kind of going on that, where it kind of just accelerates that taste and that sensation. It just kind of really grabs a hold of your tongue when you're drinking it. I don't know if other listeners have had that experience, but that's what it experienced to me.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, they had a I would say probably about maybe 2 years, about 2 years ago, I think, last time they had that out there. But yeah, it's crazy. So of how that goes. So along that cooking line, what's kind of the experience that you have now with cooking? Are you trying to explore or expand things that you want to try? Like you see something or come across something like on the social media and go, oh, that's a good idea. That's something that I'd like to give a try.
Yeah, there's a few things I've been wanting to or restaurants I've been wanting to go try.
Uh-huh.
I have a different Instagram account where I just follow a bunch of food things. And that's all I do all day is just like all the foodies. Like it's just kind of like my own little personal world, I guess, if you would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and okay, I'm obsessed with Gordon Ramsay, but he has a pizza place out in London, I think it is. And everything he posts just looks delicious. And I know it's just pizza, but it's Gordon Ramsay pizza. I know it's not very adventurous, but it's Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, true. What do you think of since you kind of mentioned him? What do you watch all of the shows that he's on, and especially the reality TV that he kind of does, or do you keep up with that, or you just kind of maybe follow him out on the social media and press releases and things of that nature?
So before the wonderful world of wrestling sucked me in, yeah, I used to watch Hell's Kitchen and all that stuff pretty often, and it was a highlight of my day. Yeah. But no, I was kind of really bummed because when I went to Vegas about 2 years ago, I wanted to go to Hell's Kitchen, but it was just so busy that we never got the chance to go. but we ended up going to like his burger joint out in Vegas,
Yeah.
and it's probably like the best burgers I've ever had in my life.
Oh.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the
definitely worth because it's like worth.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say about his pizza place that you were talking about. Like the old cliche goes from Yogi Berra, it's so busy nobody goes there anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure like that's how that is too. But it was totally worth it. I would totally wait in line for that.
Yeah. So another thing that people should know about you that they could probably guess just by the Canary Cornell genre gimmick is that you're big into the comics and especially the Green Arrow, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. How did
Like,
you get your eye caught on that?
Well. So I've always grown up with like obviously like Batman and Superman and Spider-Man and X-Men and all that stuff. The Green Arrow came into my life when someone else kind of suggested we watch it, and I was like, cool, all right. So I sat down and I watched it, and instantly I was hooked on the Black Canary. Not so much the first Black Canary that Arrow had on it, like the TV show.
Okay.
But the person that eventually ended up playing Black Canary. And from there, it just kind of started to where, like, I would go into, like, the comic book store, because that's one of the places I like to go to. And then I would start seeing, like, Green Arrow comic books. So I was like, I want it. So then I started collecting a lot of Green Arrow comic books, which I have, like, a wall dedicated to Green Arrow. And, like, I've even been reading the comics, too, like, on the app and everything, trying to keep everything in order. But, like, Black Canary was just, like, such, like, a relatable character in my eyes, like, even on the TV show and then reading the comic book. So I was like, this is my comic book spirit animal, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, that's very cool. And that's influenced Canary Cornell very much, I would assume. I mean, it's definitely apparent.
Yeah, it's definitely apparent. I do kind of want to, like, not be, like, 100% like Black Canary looking. Like, I have like different outfits that, like, I hope to, like, be able to bust out one day. I have a Flash outfit that I would totally love to wear in the ring. But yeah, like, it's kind of just like me showing my love to, like, my superheroes and my villains. Yeah.
Do you feel that?
So that's where the Canary part comes in.
Yeah. Do you feel that also helps you divide this breaking the fourth wall? Once again, divide the world of when you get into that ring versus when you step out of that ring and become your normal self, yourself that myself and others know you personally, breaking that fourth wall to help you divide and keep those worlds separate.
Yeah, it does, because even with their like secret identities, like it helps keep them separate,
Yeah.
Like, it's still there and it's still part of you, but that mask doesn't go on until I have to go, like, save the world, and then, like, outside of that, I'm just me outside of it, and it's fine.
Yeah, right. What is it that you really enjoy about that series?
The series, and, like, do you want the comic book version of it, or you want the TV show version of it?
You can go ahead and do both. Is there things that you like about one and not the other? You wish things may be a little different? Do you see that they do a great divide between the comics and the TV show? What's kind of your thoughts on about the whole thing for your experience of what you like, what you dislike, and the whole gambit?
Okay, literally the Queen's Gambit. So okay, with the TV show, like, I really enjoyed it. obviously, and I really enjoyed how they did all the TV shows that like tie into it.
Yeah.
I wish they would have continued with the Green Arrow and the Canary series that they wanted to do, because I feel like that would have been very inspiring, I want to say, because it was definitely like women's empowerment. And I know how much right now that's like a big thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But like that would have been perfect for like superhero stuff, because all we have right now is Supergirl.
Right.
And that's a great show in itself. But that got canceled also. So it's kind of like disheartening to see that all of the shows that had the woman as front and center got canceled. And, you know, I'm not saying that because I am a woman. It's just, it kind of sucks, because you do have like all these little girls that look up to superheroes now. And it just would have been cool to have them have their own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So going into the comic book is awesome, because like Black Canary is like a main character in all these stories. And like I said a few times, where like Oliver Queen kind of admits that he's nothing without her. And they just keep finding each other like every single time. So like he lives a long life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she still dies. But yeah, she still finds her way to him. So I think that's cool. But she's such like an important character in the comic books. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
And
her influence reaches wide and far and continues.
Yeah, because she's not just in Green Arrow. You know, she's in Birds of Prey. I really wish they did that movie better. But yeah, she's in Birds of Prey, and she's in Justice League, and there's like a couple of other things that I just realized that she's a part of.
Yeah.
And it's cool. Like, she's even in like a Deathstroke one. I think I have it on my wall somewhere, but like, yeah, there's like multiple things that she's an influence in, and they just kind of like in the TV show, they have like a grand total of 3 Black Canaries, and 2 of them, obviously, you know, if anyone hasn't seen it, close your ears, but like everyone who has, like, she gets killed off like twice, and she just reoccurs, and then like another version of her shows up. But they didn't really do her justice like the comic book did, because she's a much bigger influence.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's just because that's just TV, and there's just not a good showrunner to bridge that gap from TV to, well, in this case, from comic book to TV?
Well, they wanted to circle the story on Oliver Queen,
Okay.
which they did, but I don't know, because like they made him end up with Felicity, who, from my understanding so far, where I'm at in one of the comic books, is Oracle. So it's just weird. Like, I don't understand why that was a switch.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I know like with Deathstroke is more of a Batman villain, and he has like beef with like Black Canary too. On top of that, more than he does with Green Arrow. So I don't know. It's strange. It's a strange little twist that they did.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, kind of what I was kind of alluding to is sometimes they're not, you know, good caretakers of franchises overall, you know, or even particular subsets, you know, of you know, like this particular case within that particular universe. So sometimes it's just hard to get that, you know, great. You know, oversee, like I said, a caretaker is basically the best way I can kind of explain it. Like, you know, for example, that, you know, like that the Marvel universe has, you know, with Kevin and, you know, and then, you know, one of my favorite franchises is Star Trek, which I think we finally kind of gotten good caretakers there to help with that. But, you know, and DC, and they just have, it's just been kind of mix and mosh, and in my opinion, it's just kind of difficult. And I want to see everybody succeed, but I think it's just kind of difficult. You got to get that right person or right people to kind of, like I said, kind of make that explode. I think, and I don't know if you agree with me. I think they can make this thing huge. You just got to get the right people to be passionate about it. Would you agree?
I agree 100%. Sorry. Like with the DC shows, I think for the most part, they've done a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if we're not going to look at the Snyderverse for a second, I feel like before that popped up, that they should have probably took the shows and put them into like that role of the movie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like because like we already knew these characters, and we already knew these actors as these characters, and I feel like everybody has been perfectly casted on the TV show.
Yeah.
And then like you go and you watch the movie and you're like, yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's hit and miss, and I feel like the day they go and cast somebody else as Green Arrow, I might not be happy, but I hope that they do it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it seems like to me too that when it comes to like say TV versus movie, and when I say movie, I'm going to also include anything that's not necessarily basically what we consider TV or traditional TV, or your cable TV, etc. like that we as fans get attached, like you were kind of alluding to, we get attached to how certain things are that way, and then when the passionate fans will watch everything. And when they go to do, like you mentioned, the Snyderverse, they're kind of like you just mentioned, kind of something's I'm just not getting into it. It's just not hooking me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think I think Marvel did it right.
Yeah.
Marvel's done everything right. And then like you want DC to be like, because like DC is the OG, so you want them to be like,
yep, they are
doing everything right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard. Like Grant Gustin is my personal favorite for Flash,
Yeah.
So I see Ezra and I don't know, man, not my cup of tea.
Yeah, and it is, like I said, it is kind of difficult, but maybe a lot of these franchises will take that playbook that Marvel's doing, and having kind of in a way a little bit of seamless transition between of everything that's under the umbrella. Because like I said, Marvel's doing it right. We've got the same actors playing the same roles that were playing in the movies that are now on the Disney Plus, for example, and it kind of makes sense. And they're making, they're doing their due diligence, and and doing the fact checking, and making sure that the nitpickers out there can't necessarily get find things easily, or at least the casual fan to the the more advanced fan versus the the uber fan, if you kind of catch my drift.
Yeah, no, I understand you completely. I agree. Yeah.
So from there, I think we've maybe kind of beaten that, kind of gotten a good overall umbrella look at that universe per se. So let's transition to another thing that the RMP radio listeners might be curious to know, and I know a lot of them do the same thing, and you and I do this. We're big collectors of Funkos. Do you kind of key yourself into a certain series or people or certain collection that you like to do with those?
I have a interesting variety of Funkos, but they all mean something to me. So like obviously I have like a lot of the Arrow ones, and a couple of the Flash ones as well. I have like just things from like my favorite TV shows. I have things from horror movies. Like, yeah, they're all kind of like a little bit random, but they're definitely things that like I pick and choose. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I have to look at it like, yes, you need to be with me. I don't throw the stuff through in, but yeah.
Yeah. And do you know how many do you have?
I think I'm somewhere in 20 something right now
Oh,
so
okay.
far.
So you
Yeah,
don't have a huge collection.
not yet,
Yeah.
not yet. But like again, I'm picky. Like I have to be like, yes, I want this one, or no, I don't want this one type of thing.
I get you. What's the most kind of like special one to you that kind of has the most meaning, or kind of the one that that you're so proud that you own?
I have a Rumpelstiltskin one that is pretty awesome. The person who gave it to me was like so proud that they even found it. They're like, I am so happy I found this for you. I can't wait for you to see it. And then I opened it and I was like, you know me. You know me 100%. Yeah. That's my favorite one.
All
But
right.
it's Rumpelstiltskin from a...
Yeah. That's cool. That's great. Now, since your collection is tiny but mighty, have you started before it gets too out of control? Have you started using the Funko app to keep track of your collection?
No, I have not yet. That's a
Oh,
good idea, though. I probably
okay.
should.
Yeah, I'm going to suggest that you might. It's kind of cool because then you can just pull up on your phone and you can go, I don't have 25, I've got 27. Kind of
Yeah.
thing, and then you can track the value of what they're kind of reselling for and things of that nature, which is always fun.
I would never sell my Funkos. It's
Well,
crazy.
I know. Well, I'm just saying. I'm not either. I'm kind of like you. Once I buy it, I'm not buying it to resell it. I'm buying it to keep it. But it is kind of fun, seeing the one that you bought, this past summer, for $12, and now it's worth $30. That kind of thing.
Yeah. So okay, there's two actually really quick stories for. So I have a first semester one. And I remember the first time I saw it, I couldn't afford it. So I was like, oh, wait, I'll find it again later. And then it was gone. And I could never find it ever again.
Oh.
So I remember one day I was sitting, I was like having like a Starbucks drink with my mom. And I was in Barnes & Noble, which is a horrible place for me to be because, again, you got comic books, you got vinyls, you got Funkos.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm like staring across the store, and I'm looking, and I'm like, there she is. And my mom's like, what? I'm like, I will be right back. And I walk to the table, and I grab Cersei, and I go into the register, and I buy her right away. And I come back to the table with the Cersei Funko. My mom's like, you're crazy. And then right after that, I'm sitting there, and again, Barnes & Noble is like the worst place for me to be. And I'm facing the vinyl wall, and this guy goes and puts down this Mac Miller one, and I'm like, oh my God, I will be right back. And then I just got up, and I bought the vinyl. And I come back, I'm like, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done buying stuff. And my other one I just got not too long ago. I bought in October. So I waited a very long time for this one to like show up to my doorstep. But I got the Lincoln Park 20th anniversary Hyper Theory Funko.
Yeah.
Which is like a cool.
Yeah, those ones are
Hyper dude.
Yeah, those ones are kind of neat. I like how they have stylized those ones.
Yeah, I like the case it's in.
Yeah,
it's like a hard case.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think it's it's definitely different. It definitely makes them stand out from the standard configuration per se of the Funkos. So yeah, and it always kind of pops me when I see those when they get released and things like that. So it's just kind of fun seeing something a little bit different when it comes to those. So another thing you just mentioned, and we were going to get to, is vinyl. How did you get your interest peaked in that?
So I'm a huge Linkin Park fan, and when I was younger, literally my mission was to own almost everything Linkin Park. So I ended up just kind of saw a vinyl one day, and I bought it, and then it just continued from there.
Yeah. And
I even have friends like vinyls. Like people buy vinyls for my birthday and everything. And then like last year, at like when 2020 started going all crazy, to make myself happy, I bought more vinyls. I don't have too many right now, but like I have a good collection. Again, it's like the Funkos, where like I have to like, yes, you belong in my life. Yes, you belong in my life also, type thing.
Now, I'm assuming that you're just collecting those to display them and all that good stuff like that. You're not actually using them, and if you even have a LP player, anyways.
I mean, I thought about buying one, but then that means I would have to open up my vinyls.
Yeah, it'd be tempting, huh?
Yeah. It would be,
yeah.
But I don't want that temptation in my life.
Yeah. Now, is that is that still kind of a big thing? I'm guessing probably even like you mentioned, 2020 to 2020 did vinyls kind of get a little bit of a boom because of people not probably spending their money elsewhere with things shut down and etc.
I'm gonna say yes, because I remember watching almost everybody I listened to start putting like limited additional vinyls or like different color vinyls in their merch stores. And it was kind of like, oh, well, now we're on the vinyl train. So cool, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Have going on that train. I'm a kind of a big technology person. Have you seen where you can melt plastic, like from like the 20-ounce soda bottles, the 2 liters, etc., like that? You can melt those down and get there's a device, so you melt those down and actually make your own vinyl. Have you seen that?
I did not know that, but that would be really cool to do, like as a merch thing.
Yeah. I just didn't know if you know it. It's been a while since I've seen that, but I remember the other podcast that I was listening to on that they were talking about that. It just when kind of vinyls made their because they died out for quite a long time, but then they kind of made a little resurgence. So this was kind of like at the big part of their resurgence that this device came out, and I thought that was kind of pretty cool. And it also helps the environment. You don't have to worry about these things going in the landfill. Instead, they can become decorations on your shelf or your wall.
Exactly, it's art. It literally is art up on your wall.
That's true. So Linkin Park is one of your favorites, if not your favorite. What else? What other music artists, groups do you enjoy?
So I love all types of music. So Selena is like one of my big, like, Selena and Ariana Grande are like my biggest like pop loves.
Mm-hmm.
And I love, like, from the country world, I love Dirk Bentley and Jason Aldean. I really like hip hop. I like Jordan Lucas and NF. And then so back to my name, Canary Cornell, I'm obsessed with Cornell also. So that's where the Cornell came from. Audio Slave, Soundgarden, all his solo stuff. I listen to like everything.
Yeah.
And like obviously Linkin Park, and then Chris Cornell, and the people I just mentioned, and Mac. MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, is probably one of my favorite dudes too.
Yeah.
He's so versatile and it's cool.
Yeah. Shout out to him for having the first fully attended unlimited capacity concert in a long time.
It was cool. Yeah, I saw that.
So that's kind of cool.
Fun. He's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was cool to go see too.
Yeah. So, going from there, go ahead.
I miss concerts.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Concerts. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I miss everything basically. I miss just missing. I just miss knowing that, if you're bored, there may be something to do. Because like last year, it was like there may not be you're bored, but what is it there? What is there to do? Where is there to go necessarily to to get out and have fun with the people, you know. That's the big
Yeah.
thing about that we just kind of basically have gone through. That's one of the hardest things, in my opinion.
I agree.
So, one other thing that we can talk about, and I hear that you're going to be doing another visit to this exciting thing here soon. Ghost hunting. What sparked your interest in that?
Yes. I have always been into that stuff. So ever since I was a kid. So like some people don't believe in ghosts, all right? But like the house I grew up in, 100% certain it was haunted. So like that's kind of like where like the interest came from. And then like as I got older, I found people who liked the same things as me, and we kind of would just go look for things. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I am going to Stanley for the second time for my birthday on Sunday, and I'm going with my best friend, and she's so excited. She can't wait to like go like looking for ghosts and go on the tour. We actually got one of the haunted rooms. I'm not too sure which one it's going to be yet, but I'm pretty excited about it.
That's funny. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I've one of my favorite places we've gone for ghost hunting though is like in Vegas.
Yeah?
I went on like this like, yeah, they took us out to I think it was Good Springs, Nevada.
Okay.
And there was a place that was featured on Ghost Adventures, and it's a little bar. And they gave us like all these little tools, like they gave us like EMF detectors and like little like witch stick things. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, that sounds great. Is there a particular, if I'm forgive me if I get this wrong, but is there a particular like genre within this genre that kind of fascinates you the most?
Like, what do you mean? Like,
Well,
what do you?
they I think they say like, well, like you mentioned, you know, just like EMF detection or unexplained phenomena, or you know, or possibly visual things that you know, people think that they see, you know, doing this ghost hunting or things of that nature. Like I said, I think sometimes there's a genre within a genre of it, or is it just kind of the whole experience for you, or that you enjoy doing this?
It's the whole experience for me, because like there's so many ways to get like evidence of the supernatural.
Yeah,
and that's really cool to me. And actually, fun if you have if you have the live mode on your phone camera, that's a good way to like catch orbs. And when we went to the Stanley the first time, they advised us to put live mode on when we were in certain spots. And the person I went with, they had live mode on, and they were just taking a picture. And when you go back, his phone turned off right away. And when you go back and you look at the picture, it's crazy because he caught the orb like going towards his phone, and his phone turned off the moment that the orb, quote unquote, touches his phone.
Oh wow!
So it's really cool. Yeah, how people still say that they don't believe in ghosts is crazy to me, because there's so much like evidence out there, and it's just fascinating.
Yeah.
To me, it's fascinating. Yeah.
What do you think of the naysayers saying that there's probably some scientific you know, explanation for these types of phenomena? Or do you?
I had people actually say that to me. And
go ahead.
Continue.
Yeah. Go ahead. Continue.
Okay, so like, I used to work in a store also too that had a bunch of like weird things happen.
Uh-huh.
And I remember I was telling this one guy about things that had happened to me in the department I was working in. And he's like, I don't believe you. I'm like, okay. So this is when I was working security at Target. and we're doing our last round, and it's like 11:30 at night. No one's been in the store for an hour, and I'm telling him these stories, and he's like, I don't believe you. And so we passed the department, we passed the men's department, and I'm like, you don't believe me? I'm like, explain that. And there's a fixture of men's shirts, and there's no air conditioner on, by the way, at all, especially like in December. No air going on, and there's just one tag spinning really, really like fast, just around and around and around and around and around. I'm like, explain that to me. It's just one tag. And I think in that moment, he actually started to believe. And it's just kind of like, I think people need to, like, all the naysayers, it's because they haven't met that spirit yet. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know so many people who do believe that. And I know a lot of people who don't. And again, I just tell them, like, you just haven't met them yet. They haven't proved that you're worthy for them yet. So that's one example I can give you. It's just that when the time is right, that eventually you get to see. When your eyes and ears are open.
Yeah.
You'll see.
What's Canary's philosophy or thought on ghosts or the supernatural? What do you have locked into one thing, or do you kind of think about a few things, or like you kind of mentioned, keep your mind open? What's it about? What about you? What do you think about that whole thing?
I believe in keeping your mind open, your eyes and ears. Like, there's no way that this life is the only thing you have. We're just a bunch of energy into this little, like, body. And, like, after you die, like, where does that energy go?
Yeah.
Like, so I believe in, like the next life, and I believe in previous lives, and all that crazy stuff. But, yeah, it's just, to me, it's eye of the beholder, Yeah.
Yeah. And some people would call that is that nothing necessarily is completely created or destroyed. It's just kind of reallocated.
Yeah, we're one big ball of energy. We just go somewhere else. Like that's why. And I had to explain this to somebody one day. I was like, it's an EMF detector. Like, it's an electromagnetic field, like, detector. So when they go and spot, like, a spirit, that's because that's their energy that they left behind. And it's just kind of roaming around doing its thing. And that's why, too, I've had people kind of, like, try to disprove me on certain things, where I walked into, like, a generator room one day, and I had to get out of there really quick. And they're like, oh, it's just the generator. I'm like, but that's the same feeling you get when you're not by a generator and you know that there's something near you.
Mm-hmm.
It's all energy. We're just a bunch of energy.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
That's, like, my perspective on that. Yeah.
Well, I think, Canary, I think that might be a very energetic, great point to maybe end this conversation here with you for this edition of RMP Radio. But before I do let you go, people wanted to stay up to date with everything with you, like on the social media. Where could they do that?
So on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, even on Pinterest. It's all Canary Cornell. I got really lucky that nobody else has that username.
Yeah, and that you didn't have to put numbers or dashes or any of that fun stuff to,
No,
people,
so I'm going to
people to
do it
remember.
on YouTube, but it's Canary Cornell.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I got lucky.
Cool. Yeah, that is a great feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
All right. Well, once again, thank you for coming on to RMP Radio this time around, and I will be seeing you, waving to you from the merch table at the next show.
All right. I can't wait to see you, Mr. Fourth Row.
Once again, a big, huge thank you to Canary Cornell for coming on to this edition of RMP Radio and letting all the listeners get to know a little bit more, like we say here on RMP Radio, about the person behind the wrestler. Check her out. Hopefully you're here real soon, getting back in that ring at Rocky Mountain Pro. All right, well, before we get out of here, let's pay some bills like we used to do back in the day. And as you could imagine from my little conversation there with Canary, I'm very passionate about this subject. And I've got some exciting news. I'm really excited. The powers that be, and I want to give them a huge thank you for revamping the merchandise section on the rmpwrestling.com website. So if you head over there, click on the merch link, would greatly appreciate it. We've got some fantastic new things on there. Things have been categorized, and we got a lot of illustrations and products on there that you can visually see and choose from. What I'm kind of most excited about, and maybe I'm going to spotlight for this time around, is you can get a Rocky Mountain Pro tote bag. So when you're making your purchases at the merch table, you have somewhere to haul them back home with you for all those purchases that you make. So that would be great. You can get either the RMP merch bag, or we've even got the charged for the TV tapings as well. So that would be greatly appreciated. Additionally, like we always say, if you're on Amazon.com or the Amazon app, you can search for Rocky Mountain Pro and you'll see all of these choices as well. But we would greatly appreciate it. Just start from our website. That's the most fun and most capable place that you're going to be able to find everything there. Additionally, hit up your favorite Rocky Mountain Pro superstars and check to see if they've got a pro wrestling tees or a brainbuster tees or the etc website that you can also purchase from, just in case if you don't see it there on our website. Greatly appreciate it. This is something that is a great thing you can do to support your favorite wrestlers in Rocky Mountain Pro. Also, we've got a lot of great events happening here in the future. As of the time of this recording, we have one this Saturday, May 22nd, up in Lafayette, Colorado. Yes, you know, it's time to return to Romero's Canine Club Tap House. You want to get tickets to this? Head over to rmpwrestling.com, click on the events link, and you'll be able to purchase your tickets right there. Also, just keep an eye on this in your calendar, mark it down. The Rocky Mountain Pro Supercharged Peak of the Pack, May 28th from the Bierstadt Lager House in downtown Denver and off of Blake Street. This is a free event, but limited admission is available to this. It's going to be a fun new event, and we're going to see what happens there. Basically, we've got 16 competitors, 8 teams, 2 survivors, 1 victor. So this is something that's great. So if you have been catching us on the Twitch and saw our last tapings, you'll see what this kind of is all about. So that'll be fun to see. Now, in the meantime, you want to watch us? Head over to twitch.tv/Rocky Mountain Pro, or if you go over to the youtube.com/Rocky Mountain Pro, of course, you can check us on the Fight TV platform, whether it's on their website, the app, or like on your Roku box. That would be greatly appreciated as well. You can also check us out on Right Now TV as well. Now, want to follow us with getting all this information? Everything does stem from the website at rmpwrestling.com. We can also follow us on the social media of the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram. 2 accounts I want you to follow for very important reasons. That first one is the Rocky MTN Pro. I'll phonetically spell that for you once again. That is the Rocky MTN Pro. And then also follow us at RMP on Twitch. I want to thank you all for listening to this edition of RMP Radio, where pro wrestling is elevated.